Alright, so I never imagined that I would make a video like this, but one of the most controversial Pokemon Go YouTubers, PokeAK, recently came out with a video exposing a major cheat that is currently ongoing within the Go Battle League. This cheat is giving certain players that are using it an extremely unfair advantage, and this is something that Niantic needs to address. I really do think this is something worth discussing, so I wanted to make a video about it here. Alright, so with that said, let's jump right into it. Alright, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go discussion video. Alright, so we gotta talk about this big cheat that was discovered recently regarding the Go Battle League. Certain players are using this bot on Discord that will give you all of the information that you need regarding your immediate opponent. And that is a huge deal because getting all of the information regarding your opponent's Pokemon, what charge moves they have, how much energy each Pokemon has, that is going to give you an extremely unfair advantage in that battle. And the YouTuber that brought this to everyone's attention is PokeAK, which, if you want to know, I've always had this kind of weird back and forth with this YouTuber. Like, PokeAK was one of the YouTubers that I've been following for a very long time, pretty much since he dropped on the platform. And you know, I've always had him on my good side, but for some reason he's had me blocked on Twitter, and yeah, he really does not like me for some reason. I mean, he doesn't like a lot of people, so naturally he's drawn a lot of criticisms. I don't think a lot of players agree with how he handles a lot of critiques and how people respond to him, and you know, I think everyone is entitled to their own opinions. I don't personally have any beef with PokeAK, even if he might have any beef with me, but regardless of the point, I do have to thank him for actually bringing this issue to light. I really do think this particular exploit is a game killer. A lot of people rely on Pokemon Go's PvP system to have a lot of integrity, and for something like this to be a part of the grind, like, a lot of players are going to be disheartened by that, and a lot of people are going to be frustrated at Niantic. Speaking of which, I really do think that this cheat existing is a big part of Niantic's fault. Like, the fact that their code for the Go Battle League has a lot of vulnerabilities that will allow something like this to flourish, that is a big problem, and it's something that Niantic needs to fix right away. The fact that there's constantly a lot of issues with Pokemon Go, and the fact that there's a lot of exploits that happen with Pokemon Go, I really do think when it comes to Pokemon Go's development team, they need to tighten the ship a little bit. We've seen a lot of resources get dedicated to stuff that players are not asking for, and what players are really asking for is for their game to get a lot more polished, and I do think this is one of the things that they need to focus on. And I do think that this is one of those instances where this is the case. If the game was polished and the Go Battle League code was in tip-top shape with a lot of security, I don't think an exploit like this would even exist. But we don't even know if this exploit has been around for years or if it's something that's more recent. Really, with the way that the code is set up, like, I wouldn't be surprised if players have been using this cheat for several years. But yeah, now that it is out in the open, I do think Niantic needs to do something about this, because if this exploit continues to thrive and a lot of players abuse it, I really do think it's going to hurt the integrity of Pokemon Go's PvP system. And currently, right now, there is a world circuit, so I do think a lot of players are going to be affected by this, especially those that are highly competitive and are actually trying to get World's Glory. Like, this is something that cannot continue if they want this game to continue to thrive. I mean, even for myself, I just started getting into PvP just under a year ago, and you know, I've been grinding away as hard as I can, and I'm trying to hit legend rank every season. And you know, the fact that this sort of cheat exists, it really makes me wonder if some of the losses that I've experienced were actually because of this cheat. Like, I'm doing everything that I can to get better at PvP, but the fact that other players out there are using exploits like this in order to get further ahead than me with the least amount of effort, yeah, that is extremely disheartening, and it's discouraging me from wanting to get even better in PvP. So yeah, ultimately, Niantic needs to get this fixed, and I really do hope they tighten up the code so that future exploits don't come out of the woodwork. And I really do think that's going to be inevitable. I mean, for every single competitive game that has ever existed, there's always cheats and hacks that exists for it, but I really do think when it comes to this particular cheat, it just exposes a major problem with how Niantic handles their game. But I think there's a silver lining here. The fact that even controversial Pokemon Go YouTubers like PokeAK is exposing this sort of stuff just goes to show that players are actually aware of what's out there, and they're actually making sure Niantic is also aware of it as well. So yeah, hopefully this causes a lot of positive changes for Pokemon Go, because I would like to see this game thrive. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I just wanted to give my own personal thoughts regarding this whole issue. It's currently ongoing and we still haven't gotten a direct response from Niantic regarding it, but I do hope that there are some responses, because yeah, something like this should not be allowed for Pokemon Go. That's kind of a given. And I do like the fact that other YouTubers are jumping on this topic as well. Recently, Zionic made a really good video just following up on everything that PokeAK discovered, which I thought was really funny, because I think those two YouTubers have had some of the most serious beef over the last several years. But it's funny that they're kind of working in tandem right now regarding one particular issue. I guess everyone wants to make sure Pokemon Go thrives, and in order for that to happen, there needs to be some integrity and there needs to be some checks and balances. And yeah, I think the fact that all of us are calling for it is a really good sign that Pokemon Go's community is actually caring about this game and is in it for the long haul. But yeah, well, I'm just rambling at this point. Thank you so much for making it to this point in the video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it to be informative. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little bell as well, so you stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to all my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then do consider checking out the links in the description below. For all my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way within Pokemon Go, like with remote raids, then do consider joining me on Patreon. Also, if you want to support my channel non-monetarily, you could always do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula, and I'm on the following platforms. Alright, and that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.